everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'm Renee, coming at you from my back porch, and I had promised you that I was going to show you how I kind of spruced it up a little bit for Christmas. There's a before picture that we'll probably have posted so that you can see how bland and boring it is, and now how nice and holiday attractive it is. So I'm really ready for Christmas. So let's just take a look at some of the small items and easy items that I took some time to do to kind of spruce it up, that I think anybody can do for inside or for outside. Obviously this is not a covered porch. I wish that it was. So not everything is weatherproof, and I have to keep an eye on whether or not it's going to rain, and if it does, some of the stuff is going to have to come back in, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can leave it out here for as long as possible. So keep that in mind. It's not a covered porch, so all these ideas are not, like I said, waterproof, but let's take a look at some of the things that I did. So if we just kind of step this direction, you'll see right away that I spruced up some pots that over the summer, of course, just had some ferns and some annuals in, but I dug these lanterns out of my barn and gave them a bright red coat of paint, and they look so much better than what they did anyway, but they are the centerpiece and the focal point for this pot, along with this bright red gingham bow that has a little bit of sparkle to it. There was zero cost in this for me, other than this ribbon, because all of the greenery and the pine cones and everything I scavenged and cut out of trees from people who were okay with me doing that. So I didn't even have to pay for the greenery, which was really nice. So I have two of these, one on this side of the porch as you come up, and then one behind me that you can see as you would be coming out of the patio doors from the house. So they're pretty much identical for the most part. Also, on this side, I have these two little small planters, again, that I had things on during the summer, but I chose to use this as a little focal point for my rabbit, and he's just sitting in a little bed of greens to kind of complement the big pot. So just found items in my garden and in my yard and pulled them over here and did a little bit of extra decorating with them. A quick little joy sign on the side that adds a little bit of holiday cheer as well. And then let me just talk real quick about how I spruced up my seating area for the holidays, because this is the same set that I have had for, I bet, 10 years, and the material on the original one was falling apart, literally was ripping as I picked it up. So I decided to just spend a little bit of money and buy some canvas drop cloths, some of that heavier material that everyone does, and I just made slip covers for them. So washed it ahead of time, slip covered them. Super simple. I think out of a $12 drop cloth, I did this whole love seat, and another $12 one I got my two chairs done. So for like 25 bucks, I didn't have to replace the cushions, because the cushions were fine. It's just the material was falling apart. I took a few minutes also and found some napkins, some gingham napkins, which are very Christmassy, and just made pillow covers with some of the leftover material from the drop cloth, and put together a real quick slip cover over my summer pillows. This probably had a butterfly or something bright colored on it from summer, so that's there. I also used some of the leftover material to put together a cute little Christmas with a little bit of a gingham, or not gingham, but plaid Christmas tree, that's what that is, and use that on there. So some throws, some bright red pillows, and real quickly, this was a really cheap and simple idea too. I found these at the Dollar General for $2. These are placemats. I just pulled apart the material from the front and the back, cut a little slit in the bottom of it, and stuffed it real quick. So for $2 and a little bit of stuffing, I got these cute little matching material here with this really cute Christmas plaid, and like I said, super cheap. So I think I did 2 or 3 of these and used that material for a little added color out here. So that was really fun. If we go up a little bit, I'll point out that I made some snowflakes out of spindles, and these are actually featured in the January issue, which you'll be able to see very soon on how to put those together. So those are just repurposed spindles that I put together. I had enough spindles to do about 5 or 6 snowflakes, and those were really easy. And then also you'll notice kind of throughout the hanging garland, there are some string balls that are just the simple watered down glue around a balloon, and add a little bit of greenery, add a little bit of fake snow, and just kind of hang them around for a little bit of a rustic touch. And again, I have zero money in that, other than buying a big ball of string, and that was maybe $3 or $4, and I got quite a few out of it. So very little investment and very little time, actually. So that was a fun thing to do. And then probably the last thing that maybe we'll just point out real quick is this idea of just wrapping packages, which again is nothing new, but I kind of thought about the fact that my porch was not covered, and the material on these is tablecloth material that is the plastic. So I thought maybe they would be a little bit more weatherproof if I had something plastic on them, but the plastic is already cute because it's a tablecloth. So we'll see. This is an outdoor ribbon, so it's probably going to be a little bit more weatherproof than a normal ribbon would be. And because I put them on my back patio, what I did was take a couple of half-empty gallons of paint that I knew I wasn't going to be using for a while, and I put a gallon of paint in each one of them, or half a gallon of paint, so that they weigh enough that they're not going to blow off my porch. They're not just empty boxes. They actually have something in them that I know I didn't need. So it doesn't matter what you put in them. You could put a couple of rocks in there if you want to, but if you just put a little weight in them, then they're not going to blow off the patio quite as easily. So that's pretty much everything that I think I did to spruce it up out here. And if I think of anything else, I guess I can add it later. But thank you for joining me. Hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays with your family and loved ones.